So Vishesh. So that was Rag Megh. Rags in Hindustani classical music derive inspiration from nature and depths of human emotion. So Rag Megh actually depicts the onset of rains. And this was a video set in a tropical part of India, Goa, which also happens to be my hometown. So Rag Megh actually depicts the gentler onset of rains when the skies fill up with clouds, the air starts to cool down, the breeze starts to blow, and you can just experience like nature around you starts to anticipate the start of rains. But in Hindustani classical music, we have rags for torrential downpour. At the same time, rags that signify or represent the scorching summer heat or springtime bloom for that matter. More typically though, rags in Hindustani classical music are associated with a specific time of the day. But most importantly, each rag has its own melodic and emotional identity. And today we're going to make a humble attempt at introducing some of the popular rags in Hindustani classical music and also give you a taste of their emotional identity. So I highly recommend to just sit back, relax. If you want to just close your eyes and get on this musical journey with us, do that. But first, let's begin with what is a rag. So I'm going to turn it around to the audience to get a sense of how many of you are familiar with this music. Does anybody have an idea of what a rag is? And of course, I'm not asking my classmates here. So for the rest of you, curious, what's your idea about what a rag is? Okay, that's great. That's amazing. So, we have an audience which is fresh, and I'm so excited to introduce you this ancient traditional art form. So when we say Indian classical music, actually we are going to present North Indian classical music, which is also known as Hindustani classical music. So we might use these terms interchangeably, so in the presentation today, don't get confused. So let's start talking about what a rag is, right? Roopak and I brainstormed a lot on the definition of rag because it is a tricky definition. For a lot of people, a rag is a set of notes which create a particular mood, which is right. A rag is a set of notes, but it's a lot more than that. A rag is essentially a melodic framework. It's like a musical grammar, which consists of allowed arrangements of the set of notes which make up the scale of that rag. And at the same time, those allowed arrangements, when used aesthetically so, create a unique mood which represents the rag. The mood is, of course, open to interpretation, and that's exactly what we want each one of you to do. It's okay if you don't understand the technicalities of this music, but what we really want you to do is just appreciate the sound, the melody, and think of what it means to you. So, as I mentioned, a rag is a melodic framework, but in Sanskrit, what it essentially means is anything that colors your mind. So, now I'm going to hand it over to Roopak to talk a little more about the notes in Hindustani classical music.
Yeah, so before we dive into the actual singing, we just want to give you guys a little bit of a background information and some technicalities. So yeah, there are 12 notes in Hindustani classical music, same as Western, I believe. And there are 7 Shuddha notes: Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, and Mi. And when we tend to sing, we sing from low Sa to high Sa. So I'll demonstrate the pure notes, or Shuddha. So Sa, Re, Ga, Ma, Pa, Dha, Mi, Sa. And then in addition to that, there are 4 komal notes. So komal you can think of as flat, and you can think of them as half a note below their respective shuddha note or pure note. So the 4 komal notes are Re, Ga, Dha, and Mi. And there's one tivra note, and tivra you can think of as sharp. So it's half a note above its respective shuddha note. And the one tivra note is Ma. So
Okay, so let's give a demonstration of the notes. Let's start with the Sa. Yeah.
Sa,
Shuddha Re,
Re,
Komal Re,
Re,
Shuddha Ga,
Ga,
Komal Ga,
Ga,
Shuddha Ma,
Ma,
Tivra Ma,
Ma,
Pa,
Pa,
Shuddha Dha,
Dha,
Komal Dha,
Dha,
Shuddha Ni,
Ni,
Komal Ni,
Mi,
and then the high Sa.
Sa.
Yeah, I can already feel the notes filling up in this room.
Yeah. So as you guys might have noticed, Sa and Pa do not have either a komal or tivra note associated with it. In Hindustani classical, we like to think of Sa as kind of the home. So we always start from home, we go on our journey, and then we return home. And then Pa is like the midpoint. You can think of like a checkpoint almost. and we like to stay on pa sometimes as well. So those are the notes, and now let's move back into rags. So every single rag has 5 major defining characteristics. The first one is Aroha and Avroha. And Aroha is the ascending scale. So the simplest way within the structure of the rag to go from low sa to high sa. And then Avroha is the descending scale. So the simplest way within the structure of the rag to go from high sa to low sa. The second thing is the structure, and we like to call this the Vistar. The Vistar is essentially, as I said, the structure, and it has like the simplest allowed phrases of the rag. The third thing are the 2 most prominent notes, and we like to call those the Vadis, Swar, and Samvadi Swar. Vadi means most important, Samvadi means second most important, and Swar means note. The next characteristic is the mood, and essentially it's whichever emotions that the rag evokes through its structure and its notes. Finally, we have the samay, which is the time of day that the rag is sung. So rags are sung all throughout the day. There are rags that are sung at midnight, at 6 a.m., at noon, in the evening, and every single rag has a defined time that it's sung. And oftentimes, especially in India, artists wake up at 2 in the morning to sing a particular rag because that is the time to sing it. Those are the 5 characteristics. Does anyone have any questions so far?
Actually, I just want to go over the definition of the rag once more for those of you who just arrived. Anybody actually tried to pick a new language recently? Not programming languages. Yeah, those don't count. Nobody? Oh, you did? Italian? Awesome. So did you start by learning the grammar first or just the phrases? Oh, you haven't started? Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah. So I think they just start teaching you the phrases, right? The most common phrases, which is helpful. But I think back in the day when we were in school, the professor would teach us the grammar, right? So they teach you the technicalities of the language. So similarly with a rag is the musical grammar, which is made using a combination of the ingredients that Roopak just went over. And so initially you would focus on the grammar, the structure, and of course try to feel the mood. And with years and years of practice, an artist usually really starts embodying the feel and the mood of the rag. And then at that point, the grammar is internalized. So you just start to channel your creative expression through that grammar, which is sort of subtle at that point. So, and it's also open to interpretation, the mood. So once you spend a lot of time listening to a rag, you start to understand the story that it's trying to tell. Okay, so without further ado, let's finally begin with the musical pieces. Are you ready? Yes. Okay. So, what's our first rag?
Today we will be starting with rag Yaman.
Yeah, and it's a quintessential Hindustani classical music rag, which actually embodies a wide array of emotions, from romance to feeling just a sense of pure childlike joy and tranquility. Rag Yaman actually is a very popular rag. It would also be the first rag that you would most likely be taught if you get initiated into this music. I think the mood is open to interpretation, but at its core, Rag Yaman is a rag that just leaves you with a sense of tranquility. And it also happens to be an evening rag. So let's see how it sounds.
Sung right about this time.
Yeah. So today, with each rag, we're going to introduce you to one new concept. But with Rag Yaman, what we're trying to do is just give you a slice of what this music sounds like. So we'll begin with the structure, which is the Vistar, and then we'll sing a song which is also called the Bandish. And we have Arush here on the tabla. He's also going to accompany us. And we'll talk more about the tabla after the presentation. Okay. So let's actually demonstrate the scale, right?
Yeah, let's.
Okay.
We'll start with the scale.
Yeah.
break that down a little bit. So we first started with the Vistar, and as you guys may have noticed, we didn't use any words or any notes, right? So what this technique in Hindustani classical music is called is akar, and that is essentially singing using the tone ah, and you're basically using your voice as an instrument. And this allows like a level of abstraction on the music, and you don't need to like understand any words or lyrics. It's just pure like you're communicating your emotions and your thoughts and your feelings, and like yeah, you don't need to like the language barriers, and you don't need to worry about like using like singing with the words. You can do a lot of like different vocal techniques with using just ah. So that is generally how most of Hindustani classical music is actually sung.
Yeah. And then the second component, like the second part of the presentation, was the lyrical component, which is also called the bandish. So bandish is essentially like, it's actually the backbone of a presentation. But if you don't understand the words, it's okay. Most of the bandishes are written in like a really ancient language, which a lot of us also do not fully understand. The focus in Hindustani classical music is really on the mood and the melody, and not so much on the lyrics. So the lyrical component just acts as like a framework around which an artist improvises and really like develops the rag. And as we progress with the presentation, you'll understand that a little more. We tend to sing the bandish and add in different components into it and really like create a performance. And then of course a bandish is tied to a specific rhythmic tempo, and Arush here can talk a little more about the role of the tempo and tabla in a performance.
Hi everyone. Hello. Hi everyone. So this instrument is called tabla. So the purpose of the tabla player is to keep playing that same rhythmic cycle that the bandish is set to, and we can also add various fills and improvisations to make the composition more whole. And for all the compositions that are going to be sung today, they're going to be set in tao teen tao. So it's a 16-beat rhythmic cycle.
Could you explain, like, can you show detail on that?
Oh yeah, I'm putting the light. Oh, So, teen tao is that's teen tao.
That's teen tao.
Yeah.
Actually, before we proceed, I just want to request the people in the back who seem to be uncomfortable near the door. You want to come in? Or at least like people in the
there's
front can
room up
move
here.
towards.
There's room up
There-
here.
There's tons,
It'll
there- there's
just
tons
be
of space up here. so-
helpful because then you'll be able to engage with you a lot more. Right now I'm just feeling this distance from the audience. So anybody who wants to come and like really like be close to the stage. Sorry and thank you. Yeah, make yourselves comfortable because now we are really going to start with the musical journey. So,
Yeah.
what are we going to...
Yeah, so for the rest of the presentation today, we will be taking you through a musical journey through a day in the world of Hindustani classical ragas, from the early morning just before dawn, all the way until the late evening, the early nighttime, just after sunset and dusk. Every single rag that we present, we will be introducing a new concept, and through the performance of the rag, we will be demonstrating said concept. So, yeah, let's get started. Hope you guys enjoy.
Okay, so you're going to get started with an early morning rag. So again, I'm curious, when was the last time you woke up to see a sunrise? Anybody saw the sunrise? Maybe you did?
Any
Okay,
rise
well,
and grinders?
oh, you did too? It's sunset time right now. But yeah, this is supposed to be a sunrise. So we're gonna start by imagining a sunrise, okay? If we cannot see it in person, let's just imagine it. So I recommend just closing your eyes and imagine driving up to your favorite spot to watch the sunrise. So you finally woke up at dawn one day, and you basically are awake while the rest of the world is still asleep. Now you start driving to your favorite sunrise spot. It's still a little dark. You get there and you just sit, right? Without any worries, just relaxing, waiting for the sun to rise. And you just sit there feeling the stillness, the calm, and the absolute peace of that moment. So today we're going to present to you Rag Bhairav, which embodies the mood of that moment. It's an ancient Hindustani classical music rag, which literally evokes that sense of stillness and peace. And actually what it does to you is it grounds you. So Rag Bhairav has komal notes, the komal notes which are half a note lower, and those notes have a deeper tone to them. And some of you might be like, oh my god, that sounds a little serious, I don't want to start my day like that. But I'm going to let Roopak take over and talk about what the komal notes actually do to the rag and how they change the mood.
Yeah, first I'll sing.
Okay, awesome.
So yeah, I'll start with the scale again. So here's the Aroha. Sa, sa, re, ga, ma, pa, dha, ni, sa, and the Avroha. Sa, ni, dha, pa, ma, ga, re, sa. And so now I'll present the stub, and I'm going to be doing it in notes, so everyone becomes a little more acclimatized to where the notes are, how they interact with each other, and what they are. So, yeah. Sa, re, ga, 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 re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, re, ga, ma, pa. Pa, ga, ma, dha, pa. Pa, dha, pa, ma, ga, re. Re, ga, ma, pa, ga, ma, re, sa. Sa, re, ga, ma, pa, da, na, sa.
So as I sat here with my eyes closed, I just felt my heart rate going down. And I think Rag Bhairav has that deeply meditative quality. When you wake up every morning, you want to first start your day by grounding yourself and centering yourself and just like getting to the neutral so that you can take on the day. And I think that's what Rag Bhairav does. And I'm curious if somebody wants to talk about what they felt and how were they able to connect with it and what kind of feelings did it evoke.
Don't be shy.
There's no wrong answers. There's literally no wrong answers. Yeah.
I also listen my eyes closed and I felt it helped me to go more inwards.
Sorry, can you say it again? I couldn't hear you.
I was also listening with my eyes closed
Uh-huh.
and your voice I felt helped me to send my days really inward.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, slight pop quiz. Can anyone guess what the Komal notes were?
If you're paying attention in the
There are
earlier
two.
part. Yeah. Whoa.
Wow, that's correct.
Smart kid.
Yeah. Yeah. So the Re and the really do bring out like that serious, like that grounding quality of the rag. Like for example, with the dha, especially like the pa ga ma dha pa. And I think that dha like has like a sense of almost longing on some level, like more like a spiritual longing, like for God, say. And you guys will see that this is a bit of a recurring theme today. And then the re, so pa ga ma re. For me, that re is like super calming, and it really grounds. That's like I think that's the main sur that like grounds you, and like really like sets your heart rate at a good place and brings you right back down home to sa.
Beautiful.
Yeah. So hope you guys enjoyed that. Let's move on to an early afternoon rag called Vrindavani Sarang. Vrindavani Sarang is a very joyful, very sweet and relaxing rag that is sung between the hours of 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. And there are a couple of things that it kind of embodies. The first is the pious romance between two legendary Hindu mythological figures, Krishna and Radha. Additionally, it can also portray the love and ardency of devotion that a devotee has towards their deity. And finally, it can be a rag of springtime. But we are going to focus mainly on the afternoon aspect. So let's set the stage a little bit. Back in the olden days, when farming was the main thing that people did, you can imagine that they worked really hard in the fields, like in the morning, toiling all day. And it's really hot in the afternoon, and they just want to rest and relax. So Vrindavani Sarang, you could think of a song then. But since most of us probably have never worked in a farm, let's set the stage in a different way. So imagine that you guys have had an amazing lunch, and right, like think of your favorite lunch spot, and imagine you just had food there. And it's a very warm day. The birds are chirping. There's an ever so slight breeze, and you just want to sit down in like your like lazy boy or like a hammock outside and relax. That is what Vrindavani Sarang will evoke, hopefully. So Pallavi will be presenting the Vistar of Vrindavani Sarang, and this time try to pay attention to like what you guys think are the most prominent notes of the presentation, and because we may have another question for you. So yeah, take it away, Pallavi.
So the scale of this rag is ni sa re ma pa ni sa sa ni pa ma re sa. Ni sa ni sa re ma re ni sa ni sa re ma pa pa ni pa ma re ma pa ni ma ni pa re ma re ni sa ni sa re ma pa ni pa ma pa ni sa ni pa pa ma pa ni pa ma ni pa re ma pa ni pa re ma re ni sa ni sa re ma pa ni ma pa ni sa 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 ni pa re ma pa ni sa ni pa ma pa ni pa re pa re ma re ni sa.
That was unbelievably relaxing.
So I had a question. There were no words in that song?
Yeah, it's a good question because we are actually right now presenting the structure of each rag. So this was the vistar, which is the structure of the rag, and we're presenting it in notes. So we are not really doing the entire presentation right now. So this was just to give you a sense of the mood of the rag, and our next presentation.
No, the answer is no.
No,
Okay.
yeah.
Thank you.
Okay, so this was Vrindavani Sarang. So you basically like are relaxing in your hammock, and now you want to feel energized because you want to take on the day, move into the evening, right? Oh, yeah.
So what do you guys think were the most prominent notes?
Yeah.
Any guesses in the audience?
Yeah. Pop quiz time.
Sa and sa in the end.
Mm-hmm.
The sa note going up
Right.
up
Sa.
the end, yeah.
Yeah, the sa always stands out because everything kind of builds up to the sa.
Good guess.
Mm-hmm. And any other guesses?
There's a knee.
Okay.
Also a good guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I thought originally.
So actually, we want to talk about this concept of Wadi and Samvadi Swar. The Wadi Swar is usually the most important swar, the most important note of the rag. It's like the king note, which really renders a unique mood to the rag. So in Vrindavani Sarang, you can hear these phrases again. Re ma pa ni pa re, ma pa ni sa ni pa re, re ma pa re, ma re ni sa. So the re is the most, I would say it's a note that stands out and gives it a soothing quality. The pa re, ma pa ni pa re, ma re ni sa. And the second most important note is pa, because it really complements the re and it kind of collaborates with it and creates a more balanced mood. Re ma pa re, ma pa ni pa re, ma re ni sa. So re and pa really interplay together and give this rag a unique mood. Usually, like the mastery of the two notes and understanding how they're used to develop the rag is important to create the mood.
I do want to shout out the ni though. There are actually two of them. There's the Koma and Shuddha ni. And for me, the Shuddha ni, like it kind of represents like going like the hot, like the sun at its most powerful. It's like ni sa, and then the Koma ni kind of represents like just the relaxed mood that you want to be in. It's like ni pa re. So yeah. So yes. So now we want to move on. Now we've relaxed in the afternoon a little bit, and now we want a little bit of a pick-me-up, right? So, and that kind of, as Pallavi was saying, leads into our evening to which we can take on the rest of the day. So we will move on to Rag Bhimpalas. Bhimpalas also is technically sung between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m., but I like to think of Vrindavani Sarang as sung in that the first half of that time range, and Bhimpalas sung in like the second half of that time range. Bhimpalas was actually one of the first rags that I learned as a kid, and first rag that I performed as well. And so it'll always hold a special place in my heart. Bhimpalas kind of evokes like feelings of yearning almost. Of like a loved one that has gone away for a little bit, but it is still very like happy. There's like a very deep sense of affection, and there's no like negativity in this yearning. Like you know that they're gonna come back, and you're just reminiscing over all the good times that you've had. It is. It also has a very playful temperament, and you can kind of see both sides, and you can kind of focus on one, focus on the other. And that makes it really, really fun to sing and to listen to.
Yeah, the playful temperament can denote the playful romance between two lovers. And yeah, as Roopak mentioned, there's a sense of yearning, but it's not in a negative way, but it's like the kind of reminiscing which really fills your heart with love. For someone who's not around you, but you're really, yeah. So actually, let's talk about alap a little bit, because in this presentation we're going to present a new concept.
Yeah. So as before, we will start with the vista, the structure of the rag, and then I know someone wanted some lyrics, so we'll be singing another bandish. But the important thing to focus on for this segment is alap. Alap is basically like freestyle It's like a freestyle portion done very slowly, where you explore like a particular topic of the rag. The topic basically being like how to get from the low sa to a particular note in the rag and how to come back down. The alap is performed within the bandish. So essentially, how it will work is we'll sing the line of the song. We will sing the alap, and then we end the alap where the bandish starts within the framework of the tal. So, yeah, looking balas. So we'll start with the scale again.
चल
So that was Rag Dhimpalas, and I'd love to hear some thoughts from the audience.
Yeah, like what do you guys think of the alap? And compare it to the Vistar. So the Vistar was sung in notes, and the alap was sung in akad. Which one did you guys like better? Which one did you guys connect more to? Any thoughts?
With this part, it sounded like you were singing to. It felt like it was more romantic in the sense that you were singing to somebody like leaving, like Java,
Mm.
That's what I understood it as.
Right. So you like the bandish?
Well,
Yeah.
in the romantic sense.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has a pretty like strong melody, romantic melody.
Yeah, some thoughts?
This one, I thought your voices were very swirling around,
Mm-hmm.
and it felt like it was raising my heart and soul. It was very strong lift.
Wow. Yeah. So you found it uplifting?
Swirl feeling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's awesome.
Good to know.
I
Okay.
like the alap part better.
You like that one?
And it kind of gives you that anticipation that the words are going to start now,
Yeah.
and the longer you wait to start it, more enjoyable it becomes.
I would agree with that.
Yeah, alap is the part we sang with the sound ah. So that's awesome. Okay, so now we are sort of done relaxing and energizing, right? It's time to get on with our days, and we're now going to transition into evening. So again, when was the last time you saw a sunset?
And what's your guys' favorite viewpoint to watch the sunset?
Favorite viewpoints for sunset?
I just need new viewpoints to go to, so.
Ocean Beach.
Ocean Beach?
Oh, yeah.
That's beautiful. Yeah.
Communication where?
Oh,
Communication.
yes.
Down in San Jose?
Me too. I like that.
Yes.
I think my rooftop is like great.
Yeah, I would agree with that one. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're now basically transitioning into the evening time. We're gonna get introduced to Rag Puriya Dhanashri, which is a quintessential evening raga. So imagine that you just got done with a long, tiring, and maybe an eventful day at work. You drive up to your favorite sunset spot and you stay perched on top of a hill. I love going to Twin Peaks. And then you just wait for the sun to set. And you're just enamored by the various hues in the sky, right? Like deep orange tinted skies with a little bit of pink and a little bit of blue scattered around here and there. Those are actually the colors of Puriya Dhanashri. This rag it has a very contemplative mood. So as you're sitting there watching the sunset, maybe you're just reflecting on your day and perhaps your life as well. At least that's what sunsets make me do. Just sort of, think about life and reflect on life. And so sometimes you tend to feel a little somber. And this rag has that mood. It has a somber quality to it. Almost like it is trying to signify like a deep longing for somebody. In this rag, we are going to focus on tans. So what are tans in Hindustani classical music? A tan is basically a fast melodic combination of notes that follows the structure of the rag and just goes like up and down the scale of the rag. So usually a performance starts with like the freestyle, slow tempo exploration of the rag, and towards the end of the performance, artists usually like use the energy that has gotten built up and start unleashing tans, which are exciting but at the same time relaxing, and they basically try to evoke the mood of the rag in a more energizing way. Pay attention to the komal notes. There's a komal dha, which really renders it that somber, contemplative mood. So over to you, Roopak. Yeah.
So again, I'll start with the scale. And if you guys like the alaps and akar from Himalayas, well, that's good news because everything else is going to be in akar from now on. No more notes. So here's the aroha. Ni re ga ma dha ni sa, and the avroha. Sa ni dha pa ma ga re sa. Sorry, my voice. पायलिया झनकार मोरी, 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 जनन धनन बाजे पायलिया
amazing. Loved the dance, and if you guys are wondering how the hell did he like make that sound, and how did he sing so fast, Roopak, like, give us a demonstration. Spill some secrets, please.
So the main secret to singing dance like as fast as I did or whatever is just practice. Like, I've done this probably thousands of times, but I can give you a bit of a breakdown. So I'm gonna use the Aroha of Purya. So ni re ga ma dha ni sa. So if you just want to sing it directly, you can go like right? But if you try to do it fast, it just sounds like right? So you want every note to be heard. And the way we like to do it is like, basically think of it as like drawing a circle around the note. So instead of just singing like ni, you would sing ni, and then you join them together. So in akar it would be like and that's like the super slow version of it. And then as you get more and more comfortable, you sing faster and faster and faster. So and then and so on and so forth. And then as you like become more and more versed with the rag, you can come up with different combinations within the structure, and then really like create something amazing. So those are thans. So next we will move on. The sun is almost set, and it is now time for Rag Bhoop. Bhoop is an immensely serene, enchanting, powerful rag that is sung between the hours of 6 p.m. to 9 p.m. This rag is just pure ecstasy and creates a deep sense of devotion. It is a majestic rag, often called the king of rags. So Pallavi will be presenting Bhoop, and she will be presenting a Vistar and Bandish. You guys are used to this. And within the Bandish, actually, she'll be presenting variations. And like you have like your main tune, and then with variations you can explore the rag a little bit more, the different, like the structure, through the words itself and through the beats. And then after presenting variations, she will be singing sargams. Sargams are short phrases that are, so you can think of alaps as very slow, and then thans is very fast. Sargams are right in the middle, and they tend to be sung in notes. And sargams highlight both the structure of the rag, but more importantly, the structure of the rag through the rhythm. And you can kind of play with the rhythm a little bit. And sargams like show the mastery of both the structure of the rag and the rhythm, or we like to call it the lay. As a fun fact, Bhoop is our guru's favorite rag, so no pressure, Pallavi.
Okay. So yeah, with the blessings of my guru, let's give it a shot. The scale of Rag Bhoop. Sa जब से तुम्हें सन लागली, 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 प्रीत नवेली, प्रीत नवेली, प्यारे बलभामुरे, जब से तुम्हें सन लागली, जब से तुम्हें सन लागली, जो नैननवा देखो तो है, जो नैननवा देखो तो है, कलना परात मोहे, कलना परात मोहे, चर्चा करे सब सहेली, जब से तुम्हें सन लागली, जब से तुम्हें सन लागली. So now I'm going to present variations of the main phrase of the bandish, Jab se tumhe san lagani, Preeta Naveli. Artists like to play with this tune in order to just demonstrate nuances of the rag through the song. So imagine you're driving on a freeway and then you see signs to a scenic vista. So you make a minor detour, you experience a vista, and you come back to the freeway and then you see signs to another detour for a vista. So you go and you experience the vista and you come back right on the freeway. So singing the variation is like, just making a minor detour and then coming back to the original tune. Just feels like coming back to the home, to your freeway in this case. Okay. प्रीत नवे प्यारे बलवा मोरे जब से तुम्हें संग लागली जब से तुम्हें संग जब से तुम्हें संग जब से तुम्हें संग Okay, so this rag just has 5 notes. It's the scale of this rag. It's a pentatonic scale. It's a pop quiz time. Can anybody guess which notes were missing? I can sing the scale again. Sa re ga pa dha sa sa dha pa ga re sa.
Can you say it a little louder?
Yeah,
Some
louder.
right answers. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah.
That is one of them.
Wow.
There's
Yes.
one more.
God.
Yeah, I heard someone say me.
Yeah.
That's correct too. Yeah. So the having the notes, but also not having certain notes, can create like certain moods. And as you can see, Bhoop is a very, very unique rag, and it's very unlike anything else that we have heard today.
Yeah, and I think what makes it difficult is that
The
the
jump.
distance. Yeah, the distance between the notes is pretty wide because of the missing notes, and it also actually makes it a difficult yet like a really vast rag in some sense. So that was Bhoop. And with this presentation, we've actually arrived at the final leg of this musical journey. So I hope you've been enjoying thus far. And for this final leg, we are essentially going to put together.
So I heard this one joke in one of the Guru Purnimas of some other teacher. So why is Bhoop a poor rag? Because it doesn't have money.
Okay, because it doesn't have money. Yeah. Sorry for explaining the joke. Okay. Yeah, so we're now almost at our destination. The sunset, and now it's basically twilight time. For this final presentation, we are going to put together all of the different pieces that we presented in isolation, right? From the top, which is the alap, the freestyle exploration of the rag, and then the sargams, which are short, melodic, medium tempo phrases. And we will move on to tans, which are highly energizing, fast phrases going up and down the scale of the rag. And we have a surprise bit by Arush. He's going to present a solo tabla piece. Do you want to talk a little about the piece?
Hello? No? Okay. I'll just talk pretty loudly then.
It's turning on.
It's turning on? Okay. Hello? 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 So I'll be playing a short piece. It's part of a qaida, which is a set of phrases, and it has a particular theme. and then you make certain variations off of it, and ultimately ends in a tihai. So a tihai is essentially a set of phrases played 3 times. So you see what I mean.
Okay, so which rag are we going to perform today?
Yeah. As you guys may have read on the slide, it's Rag Bihag. So Rag Bihag is a late evening, like early, like dusk, twilight, a little later than that type of rag. And you can kind of imagine yourself like laying on a blanket, looking at the stars with someone that you love. Bihag is very, very sweet. And for me, it evokes like a feeling of unconditional love. It kind of almost reminds me of how my mother used to speak to me when I was little. Not anymore, but when I was little. So, yeah. So thank you for staying with us, and I hope you guys enjoy our presentation of Rag Bihag. Thank you. And
Can I say something? We have in Spain some flamenco songs that are very similar to this one. Of course, we sing in words, but very, very good singer. You should check it out.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
We'll definitely check it out.
Yeah.
you do. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Question. Your voices are so beautiful and full. Most people, in our Western culture, we sing standing up. So the singing, standing, sitting, do you change your method of breathing or using your vocal cords?
Yeah, actually, like we have to like focus on the belly, so a lot of the sound, the vocalization happens literally like from the belly. So I think it's very difficult to do that standing up, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you guys for coming, and we hope you enjoy.
Yeah.
And we'll be sticking around for like the next 20-30 minutes. So if you guys have any questions you guys want too afraid to ask with an audience, just come up to us.
Sing every day or?
Yeah, we practice every day for this.
Meaning that your personal day by day, do you guys sing?
Yeah.
Whatever it's called, right?
Yeah, even if we don't sit down and practice, I'm definitely a shower singer, so.
And the music sort of stays with you, so sometimes you mentally sing, especially when there's a work deadline coming up. But that's not ideal. That's not ideal. Yeah, so it's ideal to sing every single day to keep your voice warm and really like make progress.
Amazing teacher you have, huh?
Yeah. Yeah, a huge shout out to
Yes.
the director of this show and of course the source of our music, Shubhangi Pai, Srimati Shubhangi Satharkar. This is actually the first show that we've ever hosted in this format. So a huge shout out to all of you to come and support us and show us your love.
Give us a shot.
So yeah, and thank you
You
for
made it very interesting.
yeah.
Very interesting. It wasn't like, all time, because not all of us know music.
Mhm.
It's classical music. Otherwise, half of the audience goes to sleep.
That's true. Did anyone
I was a little worried.
did anyone fall asleep?
After you singing also, we didn't fall asleep.
That's awesome, actually. Yeah, we hope that this introduction really helps you appreciate this music and makes you. It's at least like got you curious about it.
Yeah, and if anyone did fall asleep, don't feel too worried. I used to do that as a kid. So
How long did you rehearse for this?
Like
show?
2 or 3 months. Yeah.
Mhm.
Solid.
Yeah.
How much of it was like rehearsed and how much of it was freestyle, improvised?
We had a framework to base everything off of, like which like topic each like alap or like tan would touch on, but a lot of it was improvised. Yeah.
Yeah, like the alaps are usually improvised because you're kind of playing with the rhythm of the tabla and you're singing to that rhythm, so that cannot be memorized. So you kind of feel the lie and then you sing the phrases and then you complete it with the rhythmic cycle.
The tans were more scripted because they're really hard to freestyle, and it takes a lot of work to do so.
Yeah, the variations of the bandish that I sang, typically would practice a bunch of them and then like you sing as per your feeling on the day off. Yeah.
You suggest that maybe next time you have like a subtitle so everybody can sing with you guys? I don't know. No, seriously, I mean, it would be nice if we can,
Yeah,
we learn, because there are no words,
yeah,
everybody can sing it.
that is true.
Do they carry on?
That's a very good
Thank you.
feedback.
Raga, karaoke.
One final word from Uma.
So Uma, like big shout out to Uma actually, because she's been really supportive of this show right from the beginning. She's also like the anchor of our foundation, the Indonesian Foundation, So thank you, Uma, for believing in us and like encouraging us to design this show.
Yeah, no, you don't need to clap for me, it's okay. Thanks again for everybody for being here. The reason that we do these kinds of shows, I said at the beginning, is to increase access to these ancient, and like you said, they're sometimes difficult to access for somebody who doesn't know music very well. And we do traditional shows, concerts that you can participate in just as a listener and not just as a student, but we will always be participating in them as students. So on October 19th, we will have our music festival. It's a full day long event with 3 separate music sessions, 9 artists. And it's a very groundbreaking event here locally because we want to further local artists who, we're here, like I said at the beginning, we're so far away from where this art comes from, that the artists that are here, based here and want to grow their careers here, there are very few platforms for them to perform. And so our Ustad Honor Khan Music Festival gives them that opportunity. So we would love for you all to follow us on social media, join our mailing lists, and keep track of when that's coming up, and would love for you all to attend.
Where is it gonna be? Where?
It's in San Jose. Yes, October 19th. Thank you, everybody.
And yeah, like here is our
Yes.
Instagram handle. If you're in,
Yeah.
Can we get trying this light?
I don't know if you're able to scan it. Is it working?
That might be my friend.
No? It's Intonation Foundation, so you can search us. It's just Intonation Foundation. Yeah, so if you follow us on Instagram, you'll be up to date with all the events that we are hosting in the Bay Area.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you all for coming.
Yeah, and thank you again, Prashant Dada, for managing the sound, the projector, and really like the tech setup for today, and also Vishesh